to play and learn. All right, so now that's going. So on the side here, right next to the screen, we can see, oh yeah, OwlZero is playing as the black player. Right here, we can just see a play-by-play of what moves are being made in what places and what's being captured and whatnot. And it'll sort of give a play-by-play of how the game is going in real time. So we will zoom that in a little so everyone can see it. Probably read that. Okay, cool. So one thing to note about, I guess, machine learning is that one of the big problems is the fact that it's quite a data hungry thing. So if you want to make a machine learner for something like a game, then it needs a lot of data to learn, and that can come in the form of, games played. Luckily, the game of Grossthello is a fairly what we'd call a shallow game, so it doesn't take very long for it to get very good. Actually, in this case, we see it get really good almost instantly. So over the longer trials, where we just leave it running for a long time, we can see that at pretty much any power level we give it, it's going to perform really, really well. At the higher power levels, rollout levels, you can see it over the rollouts here. At the higher levels, we can see it sort of develop its own strategy, and I'll put up some pictures other places of things I've observed. It'll look a little bit different from this, but you can see the learner starts to develop its own strategies to play the game, and it sort of learns the rules and learns how to create ways to deny board space to the enemy, which in this game is a really good way to control space and get the most for your team. So yeah, we're gonna see this going. This should take a couple of minutes, and if it's anything like the rest of the trials, the white player Grossthello might win once, but it's probably not going to win any more than once or twice, especially over 10 games. But yeah, but again, pretty much at any level, we're going to see it perform really, really well, and at the higher levels, we see it perform with better strategies and a bit better. But it's for this game, using a machine learner is a bit overkill, but we'll see that in action right here and now. And over here on the side, we can see, this is where it'll just track the data from the games. I don't want to click over there too often because, like you see, it'll just, it'll make the screen not visible, and that's not too fun. But this is where we're going to have all of our data sort of appear for that. And yeah. So yeah, there's really not too much more for me to say. As this progresses, I'm pretty much just going to let it do its thing because that's how we roll. Got a couple more games to go for this, and the next trial will probably take about twice as long. We can see that a game finishes in roughly 30 seconds here, which is pretty good time, but at the upper end, at the higher rollout levels, they can take upwards of like 40 minutes to an hour. It can get really, really slow, so that's why we're only going to do something very very trivial here. But we do have all the data from the longer games it's played. And we can see that it performs pretty consistently, and it gets about as good as it will get pretty fast. So this is a pretty representative sample of how it performs over time. And we should be finishing up this last game right here, and then I'll move on to the second trial. All right, so we just see over here, we see a bit of the information about the game, time to win,